In the quaint town of Scranton, Pennsylvania, 63-year-old Clara Miller felt the weight of solitude press down on her. A widow for the past decade, she often found herself ensnared in memories of laughter and love, now merely echoes within the walls of her empty home. Each day unfolded with a monotony that deepened her loneliness, and Clara longed for the intimacy and connection she had once taken for granted. The gentle rustle of fresh-cut grass and the vibrant colors of blooming flowers outside her window served as a stark contrast to the stillness inside, amplifying her sense of isolation. Clara would sit by the window, watching the world pass her by, yearning for a touch, a warm embrace, or the simple joy of shared companionship. As the sun cast its golden glow over the landscape, Clara would often reflect on the void that had replaced the love she once cherished. The house felt vast and echoing, each room a silent witness to the life she had built with her late husband, filled with cherished memories that now weighed heavily on her heart. The laughter of children playing in the park nearby reminded her of the vibrant life she had led, a life that felt so far removed from her current reality. She felt as if a part of her soul had withered away, and with it, the hope of ever experiencing love again. One ordinary Tuesday, as Clara made her way to the local grocery store, something unexpected caught her eye, a brightly colored poster affixed to the community center's bulletin board. It announced a series of yoga classes aimed at promoting health and wellness. Intrigued, Clara paused to read the details, feeling a flicker of excitement spark within her. The thought of joining a group, of being among others, stirred a long-dormant desire within her to reconnect with the world. With a determined heart, she signed up for the classes, envisioning how the practice might help her find peace and a sense of belonging once more. Little did she know, this decision would lead to a transformation she had not dared to dream about. The prospect of stretching her body and meeting new people infused Clara with a sense of purpose that she had been lacking for years. As she prepared for her first class, Clara took a moment to reflect on her appearance. She applied a touch of makeup and chose her outfit carefully, an unfamiliar yet invigorating feeling coursing through her. She had not realized how much she missed the simple act of dressing up, of wanting to impress someone. This was more than just a yoga class, it felt like the beginning of something new, a chance to embrace life once again, as she set foot into the community center with hope blooming in her heart. Clara's first yoga class began on a bright Wednesday morning, the air filled with the fresh scent of dew-kissed grass. As she entered the community center, her heart raced with anticipation and a hint of nervousness. The room was spacious, adorned with soft lighting and mats neatly arranged in a circle. Clara took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart as she chose a spot near the back, hoping to blend in unnoticed. As the instructor guided the class through gentle stretches and calming breaths, Clara found herself lost in the rhythm of the movements. The atmosphere was warm and inviting, filled with the soothing sounds of breathing and gentle laughter. With each pose, she felt tension melt away, replaced by a sense of liberation and newfound energy. For the first time in a long while, she felt a connection to her body, a reminder that she was still vibrant and alive. It was during this class that Clara first caught sight of Ethan, the new neighbor. He moved gracefully through the poses, each motion fluid and confident, drawing her gaze like a magnet. He was in his early 30s, with tousled hair and a warm smile that lit up the room. Clara's heart fluttered as she watched him, something about his presence stirred feelings she thought had faded away. Over the next few weeks, Clara continued to attend the yoga classes, and her admiration for Ethan blossomed. She began to notice little details about him, the way he laughed with others, how he took the time to help newcomers, and the kindness that radiated from him. Each interaction sparked a flame of attraction, one that grew stronger with every shared class. Clara found herself eagerly anticipating her time on the mat, not just for the yoga, but for the chance to see Ethan. As Clara progressed in her practice, she felt a shift within herself. The once quiet corners of her heart stirred with excitement and possibility. She started dressing with more care, selecting outfits that made her feel youthful and vibrant. Each morning became an opportunity to embrace her identity anew, a reflection of the inner transformation she was undergoing. During the classes, she and Ethan exchanged friendly smiles and small talk, their interactions filled with a warmth that left Clara hopeful. However, as much as she cherished their budding connection, she sensed the lines that held them apart. Ethan seemed oblivious to the emotions stirring within her, and Clara often found herself grappling with her feelings of self-doubt. Despite her longing for something deeper, she wondered if her age would be a barrier. On a particularly sunny day, Clara gathered the courage to approach Ethan after class. Heart pounding, she invited him for coffee, her voice tinged with nervous anticipation. To her delight, he accepted, and in that moment, Clara felt a thrill of possibility, the kind she hadn't experienced in years. This was the turning point she had been waiting for, and the promise of something beautiful was finally within reach. As Clara entered the cafe for her coffee date with Ethan, the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sweet aroma of pastries, wrapping her in a comforting embrace. She had chosen her outfit carefully, a soft sweater paired with tailored jeans, and as she took a seat at a cozy corner table, she felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness fluttering in her stomach. Each moment stretched as she waited for him, the anticipation building like the steam rising from her cup. When Ethan arrived, Clara's heart skipped a beat. He wore a casual button-down shirt that highlighted his athletic build, and his smile was infectious. As they settled into their conversation, Clara felt the tension in the air shift, an electric connection crackling between them. They shared laughter and stories, discovering mutual interests that made the time fly. Clara found herself captivated by Ethan's insights and humor, each word drawing her closer to him. The more they talked, the more Clara's admiration for him deepened. She noticed the way his eyes sparkled when he spoke passionately about his work, how animated he became when discussing his hobbies. For Clara, it was as if a veil had lifted, revealing a world of possibilities. Each shared laugh and lingering glance sparked a warmth within her, awakening desires she had long thought extinguished. In the following weeks, Clara's visits to the yoga class became a highlight of her days. She would often catch Ethan's eye across the room, and their unspoken connection grew stronger. Clara began to embrace this newfound attraction, dressing with intention and applying a touch of makeup before classes. Every encounter with Ethan felt charged with potential, and Clara reveled in the thrill of feeling desired again. Their friendly exchanges evolved into deeper conversations. After class, they would linger, discussing their lives and dreams. Clara felt a blend of vulnerability and joy as she opened up about her past, sharing glimpses of her late husband and the journey that led her to this moment. Ethan listened intently, his empathy evident, and Clara felt a sense of comfort in his presence. However, as their connection deepened, so did Clara's insecurities. She grappled with thoughts of their age difference, worrying that it might be a barrier. Yet, every time Ethan laughed or brushed his fingers against hers, the doubt would momentarily dissipate. It was during one of these moments, while sharing a slice of cake at the cafe, that Clara felt the magnetic pull between them intensify. With each passing week, Clara's heart raced in anticipation of their next encounter. The chemistry was undeniable, and she could sense Ethan's interest blossoming as well. The thrill of possibility enveloped her, igniting a passion she thought she had lost forever. Clara found herself longing for the moment when they would take the next step, feeling as if their connection was poised to transcend friendship into something more profound. If you find it interesting, please like it. If not, please comment number 1. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. The atmosphere in the cafe shifted as Clara and Ethan sat across from each other, the air thick with unspoken tension. This was the moment they had both been waiting for, the culmination of weeks filled with laughter and shared glances. Clara's heart raced as she felt the anticipation build, her pulse quickening with every passing second. After sipping his coffee, Ethan leaned in slightly, his eyes locked onto hers, revealing a depth of emotion that sent shivers down Clara's spine. "I've really enjoyed getting to know you, Clara," he said, his voice low and sincere. Clara's breath hitched at the sound of her name, feeling it wrap around her like a warm embrace. They had both skirted around their feelings, but in that moment, it felt as if the world outside had faded away, leaving just the two of them. "Me too, Ethan," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Clara's cheeks flushed as she realized the significance of the moment. With each heartbeat, she felt a yearning for connection that had been dormant for far too long. The cafe, filled with other patrons, seemed to blur into the background, the soft music and gentle chatter fading into silence. As their conversation deepened, the magnetic pull between them became palpable. Ethan reached across the table, his hand brushing against Clara's, igniting a spark that sent electric waves through her body. Clara looked into his eyes, searching for a sign of reciprocated desire. In that shared gaze, she found it, a flicker of longing that mirrored her own. It was as if they had both been holding their breaths, waiting for the right moment to exhale. Suddenly, the cafe felt too small, too constrained for the emotions swirling between them. "Clara, can I ask you something?" Ethan's voice broke the spell, filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Clara nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. "Would you like to go for a walk after this?" he proposed, his expression earnest. Clara felt a rush of warmth at the invitation, a sense of freedom in his words. "I'd love that," she replied, her smile radiant. After finishing their coffee, they stepped outside, the sunlight bathing them in a golden hue. As they strolled through the nearby park, their hands brushed again, igniting a fire of anticipation. They laughed and talked, their connection deepening with each shared moment. Eventually, they paused near a secluded bench, the sounds of laughter from children playing nearby blending with the gentle rustling of leaves. Ethan turned to Clara, his expression serious yet tender. "I want to kiss you," he confessed, his voice steady but laced with vulnerability. Clara's heart soared, and she nodded, her breath hitching with excitement. With a swift movement, Ethan closed the distance, their lips meeting in a soft yet passionate kiss. The world around them faded completely, leaving only the sensation of warmth and connection. Clara felt herself melting into him, her heart finally bursting free from the chains of solitude as she surrendered to the moment, knowing she was alive once more. As the kiss lingered, Clara felt a whirlwind of emotions flood through her. The exhilaration of their shared moment clashed with a sudden wave of uncertainty. When they finally pulled apart, Clara's heart raced with a mix of joy and apprehension. Ethan looked at her with a blend of awe and hesitation, his eyes searching hers for confirmation. However, the moment of bliss was short-lived. As they resumed walking, Clara sensed a shift in Ethan's demeanor. His earlier enthusiasm seemed clouded by doubt. She noticed the way his brow furrowed and how he occasionally glanced away, lost in thought. Clara's heart sank as the weight of reality pressed in around them. "Are you okay?" Clara asked, concern tinged with vulnerability. Ethan stopped walking and turned to face her, the hesitation palpable in the air. "I'm just trying to process everything," he admitted, his voice laced with uncertainty. "This feels intense." Clara's heart ached at his words. The thrill of their connection was quickly overshadowed by the fear of what it meant for both of them. "I understand," she replied softly, her own voice shaky. "I feel it too." The joy she had felt moments ago now mingled with a sense of trepidation. Ethan sighed, running a hand through his hair, a gesture Clara had come to recognize as a sign of his inner turmoil. "It's not that I don't want this," he continued, his eyes locking onto hers. "But I can't help but think about the age difference. I don't want to hurt you." His honesty hit Clara like a punch to the gut, leaving her feeling exposed. "I've been alone for so long, Ethan," Clara confessed, her voice trembling. "I thought maybe I could have a chance at happiness again." Tears pricked at her eyes, and she fought to keep them at bay. "I just want to enjoy this connection we have." Ethan stepped closer, his expression softening as he reached for her hand. "You deserve happiness, Clara." "You really do," he said, his voice tender. "But I need to be honest about where I'm at." Clara felt a flicker of hope mixed with sorrow as she listened to him. The conversation shifted as they walked side by side, the initial spark of excitement replaced by a heavy uncertainty. They spoke about their fears, their hopes, and the potential paths their lives could take. While Clara clung to the belief that their bond was strong enough to weather any storm, Ethan remained hesitant, torn between his feelings for her and the reality of their situation. As they reached the park entrance, the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow around them. Clara took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. The warmth of Ethan's hand in hers felt reassuring, but the shadows of doubt loomed large. She realized that their journey was just beginning, filled with both possibilities and challenges. In that moment, she made a silent promise to herself: no matter the outcome, she would embrace whatever came next with an open heart. The next morning, Clara awoke to the soft light filtering through her curtains, a stark contrast to the turmoil roiling inside her. Memories of the night before flooded her mind, the warmth of Ethan's touch, the sweetness of their kiss, but also the weight of his words. The hope she had clung to now felt heavy with uncertainty. She could still feel the echoes of their conversation, the way his hesitation had pierced her heart. As she moved about her kitchen, the familiar aroma of burnt eggs wafted through the air, a reflection of her inner chaos. She had tried to make a simple breakfast, but her mind was too distracted, her heart too fragile. The realization that Ethan was pulling away echoed in her thoughts, leaving her with a sense of impending heartbreak. Clara couldn't shake the feeling that his hesitation stemmed from a deeper fear, a fear of what it meant to truly commit to her. When her phone buzzed, Clara's heart leaped in her chest. She quickly grabbed it, hoping for a message from Ethan. Instead, she found a text that confirmed her worst fears. "Hey Clara, I've been thinking a lot about us. I just need some time to figure things out." The words struck her like a blow, and tears streamed down her cheeks. The hope she had nurtured for a future with him felt like a cruel mirage slipping through her fingers. Clara took a moment to breathe, to allow the wave of emotion to wash over her. As she wiped her tears, a sense of resolve began to take shape. She understood that she couldn't control Ethan's feelings or decisions, but she could control how she responded to the pain. In that moment, she recognized her worth and the resilience she had cultivated over the years. She had faced loneliness and loss, she could face this too. Determined to embrace her journey, Clara decided to focus on herself. She reached for her yoga mat, unrolling it on the living room floor. As she moved through her practice, she let the familiar poses ground her, allowing each breath to bring clarity. The mat became a sanctuary, a space for healing. She realized that her happiness could not solely depend on another person, even someone as special as Ethan. Days turned into weeks, and while Clara missed Ethan, she also rediscovered herself in ways she had forgotten. She spent more time at the community center, engaging in activities that brought her joy, painting, volunteering, and even organizing a small book club. Her laughter returned, and her home gradually filled with warmth once more. One afternoon, while flipping through a book, Clara received another text from Ethan. "Can we talk?" it read. A mix of emotions swirled within her, but she knew she had grown stronger. When they met, Clara felt a sense of calm. She would listen, ready to embrace whatever was meant to be, knowing that she was enough on her own, with or without him. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.